Please, just look me in the eye right now and promise me you won't drop out of school to start a clothing brand. Without actually knowing what you're about to do, okay? Don't think I was actually saying that. The intro just cut me off a little bit, but let me explain what I'm saying, okay? A clothing brand is the same as any other business, and I've touched on this subject a little bit before when talking about reselling shoes or drop shipping, and that's the fact that any business is the same, but a lot of people think that some of these businesses that are more trendy or they might seem easier because of social media, they think that these businesses are easier to get into and also make you more money. For some reason, people think that the hardest industries are just the easiest to get into and make you the most money with the lowest effort, and I'm here to crush your dreams and destroy them. I don't know what that little motion I did was, but I'm gonna do it. I know the title and the intro statement might have been a little harsh, but some people need to hear that because the amount of times I'm scrolling on my TikTok For You page and I see, guys, I need help. I started this clothing brand and this is why you should buy it from me. And the amount of times that I see kids around me and people just in general, this entire earth, just think that they can just start a clothing brand, it's immeasurable. And I'm immediately trying to reverse the way that this video sounds because what I'm saying right now is completely against my own philosophy, and what I'm saying is literally do whatever you want, okay? Whatever you want, as long as you're willing to commit to that, go all into that, put your head down and don't look up until you've done it. If you're willing to do that and your vertical of choice happens to be clothing brand or design or art that happens to be on clothes, do it, okay? Don't hesitate, do it. If you're not doing it right now, do it. Watch this video, put it on the side, get your little needle out and start sewing your pants together because I want you to do it and I want you to do it now. And straight up saying don't start a clothing brand is completely taken out of context, but it got your attention, didn't it? And that's all I wanted to do because I just wanted to make you a little bit more hesitant about going into the space or any e-commerce space if you're not doing the proper research. Probably the most valuable lesson I've learned in business, I don't even remember who it was from or where the message was relayed on from because I know it probably wasn't original, but just start with why. And I've taken that into account most of the time when doing anything, when starting this YouTube channel, when starting my TikTok, whenever I make videos, I think why I'm making the videos and what the end goal is. And for a lot of people, if you truly have a passion for art, if you have been designing since you were a kid, if you have an idea that you really want to bring to life and that's been in your head before thinking about money, before thinking about fame, clout, whatever, connections, if that's what's in there, that's your why. And if you have to search for the why for too long, and if you have to fabricate a why, then maybe you're not in the right space. I hate to make a direct example, but I know somebody who went to school for business, to a business college where they specifically build you as a person to be able to be an entrepreneur, a business leader, an innovator, and they say make a business, they fund you to create a business, and with all those connections and that knowledge, his business model of choice was a clothing brand, and it had no backbone because it wasn't passionate at all. If you went into the description, it was like, I'm a young kid just trying to make it in the clothing industry. There were a couple designs that seemed honestly just half-assed, and it just wasn't genuine. And you're a lot less likely to just press for success if you're like, whatever, it's just a clothing brand. I didn't really like those designs anyway. I thought it might blow up, it was trendy. Stuff like that is what's gonna lead you to a failure and loss of money. But then on the other side, logistically, I think people get too connected with the emotional side of the clothing brand. Maybe it's just a word, like they just write a word or a couple words, a phrase on a t-shirt, and they're like, this will sell, everyone would love this. Maybe it's a little trendy, but a little new, and they think it'll sell. They get so attached to it, they put so much emotion into it, and they don't really think of a clothing brand as a business, and that leads them to fail to see that it's so oversaturated. And when the emotions take over, the logic kind of starts to get pressed away, and then they don't realize how oversaturated the market for trendy clothing actually is, or I'm gonna start a streetwear brand. Dude, my dad has a streetwear brand at this point. Now that my possibly rude and harsh disclaimers are out of the way, I'm gonna give you some ways to actually succeed in the business. And my first piece of advice is go broad. Test 100 different designs, or as many as you want to design yourself, or even if you hired a designer, if you're a team, if you're a partnership, whatever. If you have a design that you'll think will work, try print on demand. By doing it this way, you just upload your designs to a website. You can get mock-ups on shirts. I think I used Printful when I did merchandise for one of my videography businesses, which, by the way, not worth it. Basically, print on demand just allows you to advertise your product online without actually having the product yourself, because a lot of people are limited by, I can't screen print that many per day, I can't embroider that myself because I can do one per day. And this takes that away, at least for the beginning stages, when you're not too worried about quality, and you should be more worried about what will actually sell, because that's the most important part if you're trying to make money. And saying this right now is going against what I actually buy, because one of my favorite clothing brands right now is Unexpected, which is just a bunch of kids making clothes themselves and selling them online, organic marketing through TikTok. Great business, honestly, love the kids. And I'm embarrassed I'm not wearing their stuff right now. But that would just be a case study of a very good brand created by people who knew what they were doing and maybe had a little bit of luck thanks to social media. But overall, you just have to think of the business just like you would think of making a burger shop with your dad, okay? Secret water bottle. It's been here for like 5 videos. If you don't actually care about making the food good, you're not going to make the money to pay rent, and the store's going to shut down. And it's the same thing with a clothing brand. If I see a clothing brand with a basic website and designs that aren't anything above ordinary, and then you go to the company description and they're like, I'm a young kid just trying to succeed with my new clothing designs. No, you have to be original, okay? If you're going to get into something that is so incredibly oversaturated, you have to be the most unique, and you have to be sure that you can strive in a market that's literally so tough. And guys, you really thought I was gonna go a whole video without saying attention equals money. If you get eyes on you, you can sell your product. Logan Paul, 2017, $40 million worth of merch, and that was cheap little t-shirts. So that completely contradicts the whole, putting thought into it, putting energy into it, putting quality into it. No, because attention prevails, and having eyes on you prevails over anything else. If you have actual fans, then selling anything is a breeze. But the fans don't necessarily have to be yourself if you use influencer marketing the right way. Look at Gymshark, right? All these influencers promote Gymshark, and they're being paid to promote Gymshark in a specific way that makes it look like, it's their favorite brand, it's been around for a while, it means so much to them. And that's what actually makes the sales, because Gymshark is no different than Nike or Adidas, but they still manage to come up in that market that's already so competitive. And in a market like this is where the phrase steal like an artist, great book, I recommend you read it, would really come into play right now. Because if you see another design, okay, if you see something that's doing well, maybe it's a hoodie with a word going across like this, and you think you can make a better word going across like this with cooler colors, you can do it, and you'll succeed over them if your marketing is better, if you pick the right influencers to promote it, and if you just do things right. The branding is key with this, okay? If your website is completely boring, but your designs are crazy, they might sell. But if you have a crazy website and the designs are mid, then it would probably sell even better than if the designs were good. But I hope by watching this you realize I wasn't just against clothing brands in general, and I actually wanted to provide you with advice if you're going to start it. But I do want to make you wary of the fact that if you're not truly into it the way you would be into another business, it's a little bit harder to succeed because of the competition. But basically, that's been another Owen's Bank Account video. I know the videos this week have been a little short, but don't worry, I'm going to come back with a long drop shipping video for you next. We post 3 videos a week, so maybe if you didn't even need this video, you're not starting a clothing brand, my next video will be helpful. So make sure you subscribe down below and leave a like on this video just so YouTube shows it to maybe one other person so I can help them out. But basically, that's been it. It's been Owen. Peace.
Play me bitch Nintendo, fuck what I like. I let my sick play me 10 shows, doing it right. You can't see me bitch, I'm 10 toes off of the night. Fuck by the spread, I keep my cash in envelopes, seal up the hype. Jumping and jumping, I got me a red bone.